So from Timcast.com, Twitter accounts will not be reinstated until new Content Moderation Council convenes, says Elon Musk. He says Twitter will be forming a Content Moderation Council with widely diverse viewpoints. No major content decisions or account reinstatements will happen before that council convenes. Let me just break this down for all you guys. First, it is a victory, a tremendous victory that Elon Musk has purchased Twitter. I'm glad to see that something good is happening. But Elon, like us, is making a mistake. Earlier on in the show, in a previous segment, for those just tuning in, we mentioned that the person who attacked Paul Pelosi at the Pelosi house was a leftist. We also went on to mention that he does have a bunch of weird conspiracies, is a nudist, and is probably just a crazy person. Meanwhile, leftists are trying to claim he's a MAGA guy because he denied the election and posted Q stuff. At any moment, in every moment, the left will outright just be like, it's MAGA. Marjorie Taylor Greene said, we won't forget the companies that stopped donating because of 2020. And a prominent Twitter leftist said, this is a direct threat and it's why Pelosi got attacked, blah, blah, blah. They go to the extreme end. Elon Musk is telling us right now, he's going to invite them to sit down and discuss how to handle censorship. You see, before Elon bought Twitter, he said the appropriate solution should be where there's a compromise and everyone's a little unhappy. But he doesn't realize the conservatives, the independents, the libertarians, post-liberals have already compromised, saying outright, we accept the left will say naughty words. We just want to be able to express our opinions. The left then says, we want you banned and we can do whatever we want. There's no compromise there because you've got one side that already compromised and the left saying to everything or nothing. If Elon Musk is going to form a moderation council and invite the woke left in to go, but my feelings are hurt when he said I was ugly, then he's going to go, all right, well, let's give the left a little bit of what they want. The only problem, that is literally what Vijaya Gadde and Jack Dorsey did. Jack Dorsey and Vijaya were basically running Twitter like, okay, conservatives don't care that leftists are on the platform. They won't leave. So we don't have to do anything for them. They're content. But the left will leave unless we ban some conservatives. Here's the compromise. We don't ban all of the conservatives, only a few to make the left think we're doing something, and then the right won't leave because we're not banning everybody. That's the problem. This will not work. It's a bad move, and Elon needs to go in now, independently of his own volition, and release the political prisoners. And he needs to accept he is responsible for this. And there's no diverse viewpoint that's going to solve the problem.
Amen. And I hope this is just fluff to cover, his tracks from a PR perspective for any next moves. But he has to come out guns blazing, open up the prison cells, release everybody, and just overwhelm the left with all the reforms and changes he's going to make. Because if he starts doing it piecemeal, they're going to just attack it piecemeal, and they're going to divide and conquer. And it's going to be this messy, drawn-out situation with this ridiculous, fluffy-sounding council, which honestly sounds no different than things they've done in the past.
It's exactly what they already were doing.
Yeah, if you're going to build a council, don't build a council of people to decide who gets banned and who gets unbanned. Get a council of people to decide how to build a system so that the bannings and unbannings can happen judiciously.
Right. Nothing good comes out of committee.
Tell us about Minds.
The Minds jury system is legitimate. I think this is the way to go. So what happens is if you're on Minds and your stuff gets flagged, someone in the administrative team will be like, okay, that they got flagged, they got banned. And then if you don't agree, you appeal it. It goes to people that have opted in on Minds to the jury system, like up to 12 or more random people. Get the content. It says, does this violate the terms of service? Then they have an opportunity to swipe right or swipe left if they're on their phone or whatever, or say yes or no, if it violates it or if it doesn't. So if enough people say, yeah, it violates it, you're still banned. You can appeal it maybe twice. You can 3 times. If you say, no, it doesn't violate it, you get a majority of people, then it's unbanned. And then if it gets flagged again, goes back through the process. Now, but if a jury member is saying it doesn't violate the terms, but it does, and they keep repeatedly doing that on things that keep coming up and they keep getting it wrong, they eventually lose their ability to be on the jury.
That shouldn't happen.
I disagree because I think people will abuse it. What they'll do is they'll vote how they want it. I want it to be on the site, but that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if it violates the terms.
Jury nullification is exactly, I think this shouldn't be illegal and I won't convict someone for it. Well, nullification needs to exist. And hold on. The reason why I think that's a bad move, a bad element of it, is that let's say the platform becomes dominated by really awful people who want to see free speech banned.
Wikipedia.
And there's and a handful of people are saying this didn't break the rules. Why are you saying it did? And then all of a sudden, Minds comes down and says, "Look, the majority has repeatedly said you're wrong, so we're removing you."
Well, then what would happen
Dissent must be allowed to
I
remain.
think what would happen is an admin at Minds would review if like a bunch of people are saying it's not violating, it's not, but it is, and then you're like, okay, who are all these accounts that keep saying it's not violating? Why do they keep saying it's not when it is?
You have to review them both.
It sounds
Why are
good
they
on
saying it's
paper.
violating when it doesn't?
It sounds good on paper, but this is how Wikipedia devolved, and you have this organized, ideologically driven minority maybe on that platform that decides the edits, that approves the edits, that controls the entire editing hierarchy. It will be taken over Fabian
That's just-
style.
But the
Well,
argument is because it's a random selection of jurors every time that
But you can't-
there's no cabal.
Right, but you can't punish a juror for giving their honest thoughts.
You can downrank their
that's-
ability if they're not accurate.
No,
This needs to
absolutely
be
not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I think so.
It's a private company. Make it a dictatorship.
Imagine if we said in public, in a legitimate criminal trial, you're like, this guy is not guilty. And they're like, well, everyone else said he was. You must be wrong. We're not going to let you be on a jury trial anymore. That is insane.
Well, this isn't-
you have a civic duty and right.
If it's illegal, it's off the site. I mean,
Then I
if it's
understand.
an illegal thing and someone's saying it's legal, then I don't think they should be a juror.
I understand that, but that means you have to review every single person, whether they said it was good or bad.
Or you can algorithmically calculate people that are inaccurate and then just over time downrank
It's
the
the Holy
viability.
Spirit again. It's the algorithm.
But the algorithm would be public. It would be like a free software algorithm that you can go on GitHub and look at.
So the facts matter here when it comes to this particular case, and there's a lot of other things happening behind the scenes. There's a lot of things happening with a coordinated media push right now to try to get advertisers off of Twitter. But Elon Musk just 20 minutes ago tweeted that there have been no changes to the Twitter content moderation policies. He also tweeted today that, quote, comedy is now legal on Twitter. Michaela Peterson responded to him and asked, hey, can you get my father back on the platform? And he said specifically, quote, anyone suspended for minor and dubious reasons will be freed from Twitter jail. That's a direct comment from Elon Musk on his official Twitter account. Now, let's factor this in. A lot of people have been banned on Twitter. A crap ton of them. Would you want to be the one solely responsible looking at that list saying, okay, no, this guy did something bad here, going through all the history here? I wouldn't want that responsibility. I wouldn't want that job. This is why he's announcing some kind of counsel. How will he handle it? It's going to be interesting. I just hope he's not being swayed by the Washington Post that, by the way, again, I talked about this yesterday. Bill Gates literally is putting money into organizations to launch attacks on Twitter right now.
Pressure
He has
campaign.
been doing this and has been planning this for months. The Washington Post came out today and is telling people how to turn off their advertisements on their settings on Twitter so they could sabotage Twitter and, of course, the money that they get from advertisers. GM just announced that they're temporarily suspending ads on Twitter. What will happen moving forwards? Well, I'm still optimistic. His tweets are saying he's going to make sure that he's going to undelete the censored people on social media, including people like Jordan Peterson. I'm hopeful. I think he's going to do it, but I think it's going to take time.
He needs to hold the line. He needs to realize it's going to be tough in the beginning, obviously with the advertisers, the pressure campaigns, etc. But they have nowhere else to go from an advertising perspective. They're going to come back. This was never going to be a financially lucrative deal, at least not for the long run. Twitter was never making money, so the advertising is just sort of putting off some of the financial losses that the company's suffering. But at the end of the day, he needs to come out. He needs to be bold. He needs to unban these people immediately. And if he dilly-dallies, if he dithers, they're going to smell blood. They're going to jump on it, and they're going to come after him. And his reputation's on the line because this was a massive ordeal that he undertook. And, I think I agree with everyone here. It's going to be better no matter what on the margins. But if he backs off and he doesn't fulfill it, he's going to look like a total fool. He's a total fool. He owns the company. It's private. He has full dictatorial powers effectively to set these standards. He could, devolve some power to some stupid council, but at the end of the day, he should come out, set the standards, set the maxim from everything to follow. And if they follow it, good. And if they don't follow it, well, he has other problems.
Or at least, I hope you're wrong, but I kind of agree with you that he should at least do the basic ones. Jordan Peterson, Project Veritas.
That's going to be a good
Babylon
barometer.
B.
Yeah.
Just those basics alone are clear, obvious. You don't need a committee and a commission to figure out that was absolutely wrong for those people to be censored.
Right. And the people down the hierarchy, these minor accounts, these no-name people that were banned for a variety of reasons, that's going to be more complex. And it's probably going to take a lot of time and logistics. Fine. We all understand that. But it takes all of 5 minutes, like you said, to look at Jordan Peterson and say, okay, bring him back on.
Elon crossed the Rubicon. He declared war on the cathedral. They've run and in panic, and he's taken Rome. It is now his empire. He needs to just accept what he's done and make the changes he wants to make. Yeah. I don't understand why he would not immediately reinstate the Babylon Bee. Everyone knows he did this because of the Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee did literally nothing wrong. He said comedy is allowed once again. The first thing he could have done, and if I was Elon, I'd take my phone, I'd press record, I'd walk in the front doors of Twitter, I'd look at the camera and go, hey, guys, hey, who works here? Unban the Babylon Bee. I'm filming. Get it done now. I'm counting.
I'm glad you made the Caesarian reference, because Caesar came into Rome and was forgiving and, gave everyone a second chance. And then Brutus, stabbed him in the back and the rest of the Senate. So he cannot go into Rome and take this Caesarian approach that he's going to, love his enemies and give everyone a second chance. All the optimates and the senators and the rest of the Twitterati elite. He needs to come in with an iron fist and crack some skulls and just make it clear that this is the new law of the land and we're not backing down, and they will back off.
But at the same time, if he does something, he's going to have thousands of people come to him. What about me? What about me? Can you do me? Can you do me? Can you do me? And that's a lot of pressure from a lot of powerful people that were censored incorrectly within the last few years.
He's only one guy. He needs 15 minutes in between. You know what I mean?
I think you come into Rome, you immediately lay out your new constitution, and then give the power to the people to govern themselves.
We don't even need
I agree.
Rome
Protocol with jury system, constitutional values.
Unban anyone that didn't violate U.S. law, and wherever the headquarters. San Francisco is the headquarters, so it doesn't violate California state law. Then it unbanned right from the beginning. Then you decide if you need to ban them for terms of service. So also, all the terms of service are going to change now.
Right.
The misgendering policy's got to go.
Not every word, but it's up to Elon. He can be as creative as he wants with the terms of service.
It's this simple.
Check out the Minds terms, Elon.
Make it a protocol. Give yourself access to the real estate. Make the real estate sellable, the advertising real estate, as a commodity or asset on a public protocol. And then you effectively give yourself, you make it worth substantially more money. You remove moderation requirements from you and say, if someone, look, here's the way I describe it. If Coca-Cola buys a billboard in Times Square, and then I go stand in front of it holding up a sign with a picture of something really awful, is Coca-Cola going to call up the ad buyer and be like, hey, or their ad seller and be like, well, why is there a man standing in front of my sign saying naughty words? They're going to be like, because he's standing on a public street. Next question, why are you wasting my time? We should not be looking at Twitter in this way. If you want to advertise where the conversation is happening, you recognize people say things you don't like, period.
Right.
They make it a protocol. They make it interoperable with other platforms. They remove their ability to moderate anything and say law enforcement can handle it.
And also with the advertising, I mean, this was a dying platform. This is mostly used by journalists, certain niches of society. It's not this mass public platform like an Instagram or even a TikTok. It is a platform for, different degrees of elites, essentially, talking to other elites and then a few people liking it. The advertisers will come when he turns it back into a platform that people want to be on, people want to engage in, have engaging people, and it's not this controlled, manipulated, bot-infested platform, which it is now, and he bought it extremely overvalued. So he turns it back to what it should be. The advertisers will return, and any political disagreements they have in the interim will be, things of the past.
I actually posted an old video of Elon Musk talking about Twitter, making fun of, I posted this on my shorts on my YouTube channel, which people could watch. I definitely recommend you watch that, because Elon Musk talked about his plans for Twitter. He talked about how it's absolutely crazy that it took Twitter 1 year to work on something like an edit button.
Right.
He then went on and was like, we should make this like WeChat. And WeChat is something that's not really popular here in the United States, but in places like China, everyone depends on WeChat for virtually almost every aspect of their life and existence.
You do everything.
You do everything on WeChat, and this is the type of vision that he has. That he might transform and change Twitter to X. Yep. And again, Twitter made some horrible, absolutely idiotic decisions when it came to their business. They ruined Periscope. They ruined Vine. They had the TikTok before TikTok even existed.
They got rid of it.
TikTok right now is dominating all the social media platforms with so many users, with so much engagement, with so much just short-term gratification for a lot of individuals, whether it's good or bad, that's debatable. But YouTube But excuse me, Twitter had that live stream ability, had that TikTok ability, and they just threw it in the trash.
They deprecated everything. It's been a history of deprecating features, refusing to release features. It's interesting that in the last year with Twitter Blue, with the edit button, with a whole litany of other features, it's all come out of the woodworks, because up until then it was just a series of, they had fleets for a while. I remember fleets. They got rid of fleets. That was a little.
They literally
rough.
had Vine. They had the opportunity to be the number one marketplace video service right now. They had that. They could have been it.
And arguably, if you make a comparison to Facebook, if Facebook had not acquired Instagram, Facebook would be done by now. I mean, Facebook, its platform is dying. It's Instagram that keeps it afloat. Had Twitter successfully kept Vine, they would be in a totally different position today.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.